for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we ask for blessings upon all the school children everywhere who have returned to school. Keep them safe in all they do. In your name we pray, amen.
Welcome, everyone. How are we doing today?
Good.
Just a couple quick things. We did re-sign up for the Bomber football scoreboard for another 3 years, so we'll have our logo and sponsorship, all that on there. Chris sent out an email yesterday, about the District 6540 will be hosting 3 in-person foundation receptions across the district this year. These free events will have fun, fellowship, and heartwarming stories of just how our foundation is helping to make our communities across the district and around the world a better place. You can register for them. The first reception will be Tuesday, November 1st at Fort Wayne from 4:30 to 6 p.m. The second foundation will be at South Bend Wednesday, November 2nd from 4:30 to 6 p.m. And the third foundation reception will be being held at Lowell Thursday, November 3rd from 4:30 to 6 p.m. You should have gotten the email. You can just click on the link and register for them. One other quick piece. The library will not be doing their Christmas tree walk this year. Instead, they will be having a birthday celebration for the 30th anniversary of the new building. Soon you'll be able to go and pick up to 2 canvases and paint something literary about the library. The library will have more details, and the canvases will be available soon. As soon as I know more, I will get that passed along to you guys. So our speaker today does not need an introduction. He's already famous enough as it is. Mr. Mayor Steve Wood.
Well, thanks for the kudos. We'll pass out a couple of free things.
Okay.
Today, let's take a look at what we're doing for the town. This is a description of what the first phase of the downtown revitalization is. I didn't bring a bunch of them with me. Thank you. Share.
We'll share.
We can do that. Okay. There you go. There's a little description of what's going on down there. This, I don't know if you know, but we've been doing our comprehensive plan. We've had several meetings with the chamber, a lot of meetings with other agencies, organizations. And we would like for you to log into our email, or our website, I'm sorry. And there is a survey there that you can do to help out us to make some determinations as to what the downtown, and as far as that goes, what Rensselaer needs to do, or what you think Rensselaer needs to do. This is, we've had several of these, the people that we hired, American Structure Point, they were also out to, American Structure Point was hired to do a comprehensive plan. I think they were at the fairgrounds. They've been several other different places all over. And that gives you an idea as to what we're working on, the comprehensive plan. We've got several projects that we're working on these days. I also have, this was all put together. I'll leave this up here. This will be the first phase of the downtown revitalization, if you want to take a look at it. What we've, I'll start out, 2019, we hired Kimberly Horn, actually it was Brandon Schrag and his company. They turned out to be Kimberly Horn, they merged, so we hired them to do a downtown revitalization project. We started that grant application by going to NDOT, because, you know, we're covered by two highways, 114 and Washington Street is 231. So we thought maybe we could get on one of their 5-year plans. Well, we wasn't very successful at that, so. And the next thing we did, we sort of come back and we did a program where we phased it down. We put the downtown revitalization project in 4 different phases. Right now, we're looking at phase 1. And phase 1 is the downtown brick streets. And if you've seen those brick streets, you know, we need to do something with them. And we thought this would make a big impression to the downtown, and then Washington Street would be next, and 114 as far as down to Harrison Street. So we applied for an EDA grant. It's an economic development agency. And that part of that grant was to do the brick streets. That's the first phase. Now mind you, we're going back to 2019, 2020. We got turned down the first time. So, but I was encouraged by Mr. Winters, who's with the federal agency that gives these grants out, to go ahead and apply again. So we went ahead and applied again. But 2020, nothing was happening. 2021 was about the same way. We didn't get anything, no notifications, no nothing. But finally, at the end of 2021, they started that in July of 17th of 2022, we got the award letter that we would be getting $1,855,700, and the project cost is $2,651,000. There was good news and bad news to this. The good news was we were awarded the grant, but we had to come up with a bigger match. And that bigger match amounted to $795,000. So we really had to scratch around for some money to try to come up with a match, you know, that we would actually go through with the award for the grant. So we did do that. We had some American Rescue Plan money that had been given to us, and they gave us permission to use some of that. And we're going to use $530,000 of that. We were awarded $1,300,000, but it was mostly for infrastructure type of programs. So, and the rest of it, our $265,000 is going to come from TIF funds. So we had to get with our financial consultants, who was Baker Tilly. They put together a program, and they sent to the EDA. The feds, they sent to the EDA with the pledge that we would pledge and commit this money towards the match, towards the grant. And I don't know if you dealt with the federal government. I've been through this before. And this probably won't happen till next year. I mean, there's all kinds of paperwork that has to be done. Matter of fact, you have to go through fraud training and all, you know, everything on a computer, the fraud training, do this, do that. Many, many things to do to get this program started. But I'm looking forward to it till we got a lot of exciting things going on in downtown Rensselaer. You know, we've got another restaurant just opened up downtown, Frida's, and we had 2 other, you know, Embers, Fenwick's, and we're downtown area seems to be thriving at the present time. So we're looking at doing some more work for the downtown. And we've got other phases for this program. And we've got 4 phases we're going to go through. If the pandemic hadn't come along, we might have been a little bit further with this project, but the pandemic come along, and that pretty much stopped all grant work and money. So we moved on from that, and we are going to get the description I sent out to you there is pretty much what's going to be done. If you read that description, we're going to do sidewalks, we're going to do storm drains, we're going to do water main replacement along that area, and several other things that's going to be done. New sidewalks, bike path, several things will be done with that area. We're only talking Van Rensselaer Street from Washington down to where Ada's is, and then you go Harrison Street. So we're going to be on 2 sides of the courthouse. We approached the county a few years, back, and they wasn't quite prepared to do, to help out at that time, so. But I think they're coming to the point where I think they're going to help out with this whole, doing the other two sides, probably Washington and 114, which is Cullen Street, so. I'm looking for them to maybe help out with this program, and I've talked to Mr. Culp, and Mr. Culp's interested in seeing it get done. But now he's gonna be leaving at the end of the year, so I don't know how far that's gonna go. But anyway, they're interested, and I'm glad of that. And we have three other phases to get through. The next phase would be Washington Street. And that was, we'd do some planters, and we'd do some decorative lighting, and we'd also, redo the streets. And we're hoping still to go back to NDOT for some money and to help with the Washington Street, which is a state highway. We have to have their permission to do anything with the state highway. And 114 is considered a state highway also. So, but we are doing a lot of other interesting things. I don't know, I just handed out to you, we're doing a comprehensive plan, which we haven't done since probably 2006 or 7. So it was time to update our comprehensive plan. And as I said before, we hired Structure Point to help us along with that. We've had several public meetings. They've attended several public meetings at the fairgrounds, as I mentioned before. They've been everywhere. We just had a big meeting with the chamber last week, and many people attended that meeting. I mean, that part of Frida's was packed. I mean, we had a bunch of people, a lot of people interested in that. We're asking everybody to do that survey and try to get the survey back to us as to what they want done with, where's the city gonna be doing in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? We want everybody's ideas on what they think should be done or shouldn't be done. And if you would go ahead and fill those surveys out, it would be much appreciated. And we're doing a water tower project right now. We annexed out to I-65. We're on this side of I-65. Nothing much has really happened out there other than we got Taco Bell and that was about it as far as that area goes. So we're hoping that maybe we're at the end of we got a 12-inch main that goes out there, and it does service that area, but we do need a tower probably. If there's any future development, we're gonna have to have a tower. So we're working with SRF, which is a state funding agency, and we're working with our engineers, which is Commonwealth Group. They are doing the preliminary engineering right now, and we're applying for grants and through SRF and loans to do that project. And hopefully we get the water tower up, we might see some growth out there. And we're hoping that maybe eventually after the tower's put up, we might go across, we might bore I-65 and get to the other side. But in the past, they only annexed, the annex was done when I came into office in 2012, so, but they only annexed I-65. So we're looking at maybe possibly an annexation to the other side, or to get some sort of agreement with the county and to help us out maybe with the boring of I-65 with the water and the sewer. So that being said, we're working on that project. I don't know if you've been down Buncombe Road or Lincoln Street. The water and sewer projects are not what you call sexy projects, but they have to be done. And we're working on right behind where our wet weather treatment plant is. We put that in I guess 2013 that was put in, the wet weather treatment plant. What that does is treats stormwater and sanitary, and it returns it back to the river. They chlorinates it, neutralizes it, and sends it back to the river so it won't kill no fish, when it goes back in. So, but on the other side of that, if you've noticed around on the cemetery, there is a little brick building you see there. It's pretty much was put in the 60s, and it's reached its level of limit. And we're going to replace it. That's what they call the main lift station. that our treatment plant is out behind St. Joe College. So that goes, most all of that from the city goes to that. There's intercepts along the river, picks up all the sanitary, and we still have a lot of combined sewer system. But we're under a court order to do these projects. They wrote what they call a long-term control plan, and we're following that long-term control plan, and that goes clear out to 2030. So, and the wet weather treatment plant was the first one. This next one will be to go ahead and put a new main lift station in there, and that's what we're doing out there right now. If you go behind where the wet weather treatment plant is on Lincoln Street, we're replacing the old main lift station. And we got to we have been having trouble with it, a lot of trouble. The screens, nothing is in there anymore. We've been blowing a lot of pumps. Pumps cost about $20,000 a piece to replace. So, and we don't want to lose our main lift station, because we lose that, and the basements, everybody would be filled up with sewage. So, we're working on these projects, and it's getting done. Tenement Construction is doing the work out there right now. And also, the unsewered areas. We do have some unsewered areas in the city of Rensselaer that was annexed, but the sewers haven't been put in. One of those areas is Owens Street and Wood Road. Also, 114 out to I-65 does not have sewers. So what we're doing there is Tenement Construction, who's doing our main lift station, they're going to be doing also our unsewered areas. So those areas out there along Owen Street, part of it will be gravity, and part of it will be pumps and grinders and low pressure main. A 4-inch main will be a low pressure main through to service all those. And they've come a long ways with these pumps and grinders, and we're getting a lot of our money from R&D. Rural development, and we've gotten loans and grants from rural development, and we have to service those for 40 years, because our loans and our grants are for 40 years. That's going to be in the project for 40 years, so if anything goes wrong with the pumps and grinders in the next 40 years, we have to replace them. So
is that going to be West Washington also? Are they involved in that lower end yet?
yes, they are.
Okay.
As she has said, that we have an area on West Washington Street that's not sewered. So, and they have septics or whatever, but we are going to sewer that area. I think there may be 6 or 7 houses.
Not many, yeah, there's not many down there.
Yeah, and we're gonna do that area too. All the unsewered areas in the city limits will be sewered after this project's done. And we're looking forward to getting that all done. We had some problems, before this. We went for that grant before, but we didn't get it. And the grant money is really important. This last project we did with the unsewered areas and the main lift station, we got a little over $2 million in grant. So that helps with us. And I don't know if you've noticed, some of your sewer bills are going to be going up, but they'll be done in phases. And the water, we're doing big water projects, so it'll be done in phases also. But we're under a court order with the sewers to do these things, and this has been in place for many years. The long-term control plan was probably put together back in 2007. But they ignored it for several years, and I came into office. I get phone calls from IDEM almost every month. How is this project going? How far are you? We could face fines, but we're not the only community in the state of Indiana that's under these court orders. There was over 100 communities that were under combined sewer systems. That's what they did back in the day. And they're in the same boat that we are. We're trying to repair those, separate those sewers. The unique thing with, as I mentioned before, with the wet weather treatment plant that we have there on Lincoln Street or Buncombe Road, it was put in, it treats both sewer and sanitary, and that has really helped the east end of town. We have a big tile that comes across there. It's called the Make 'em Self Ditch Tile. And that's, drains a lot of the east end of the city. And what doesn't come into there goes to Melville Street, since they put the big main sewer down Melville Street. So, and that area used to be really wet, used to hold a lot of water, but we've pretty much cured that right now. A lot of people that live down there on Weston and a few of those other streets are very pleased with what we've done with the wet weather treatment plant. I wasn't completely sold on that whole project when it started, but I see the benefits of it now after it's all been put in and it's been doing what it's supposed to be doing. And we've, like I said, Washington Street will be the next phase of this project of the downtown revitalization. I know I get a lot of questions, well, what happened to your downtown revitalization? Well, a lot of things, the pandemic happened, a lot of things got in the way of the downtown revitalization, but we're hoping that now that, once, the pandemic is over, or it's not over by any means, but hopefully we'll get some relief and we'll get some of these projects done, because the fact that we just weren't able to do anything in those 2 years, so. But I'll take any questions, anybody's got any questions? I think it's an exciting time for Rensselaer.
I got a question. Several years ago, we had a planning meeting there at the Jasper Foundation talking about sidewalks.
Yeah.
And we did kind of a walking tour of the downtown. I didn't really see it on the list, but part of that was talking about the way parking is set up with possibly doing bump outs for accessibility and walking and all that. Has that been incorporated in this, or was that feasible?
In the grants, or the brick streets, we're going to have parallel on one side and angle parking. And the sidewalks will be shut in a little bit, taken off on Van Rensselaer and on Harrison Street both. So the sidewalks along the courthouse will be shortened a little bit, and the other ones will be out a little bit further for the bike trails and everything that's gonna go on that part of the sidewalk. But in the Brick Street program, yes, the sidewalks, everything is gonna be replaced. Now, Washington Street, we were going to do basically the same thing. What we were doing, the two main things about the downtown revitalization on Washington Street was decorative lighting and new sidewalks. If you go down by the town bridge, I call it the town bridge, city bridge, it's State Highway, and then when they rehabbed that bridge a 3 years ago, we paid the difference. If you see those two lights, that's what we chose through the, chamber. We had several meetings over all that. And this was the light they came up with. So we put those two lights there, but we paid the difference to the state for what a standard light cost to the upgrade to what this light cost. So we did the upgrade and we put those two there, but that's as far as we've gotten. So unfortunately, a lot of things played into this thing that we weren't expecting, and a lot of things unexpectedly happened that we didn't play into the whole project. But the downtown revitalization is on track, and hopefully we'll be in a better, after we do the brick streets, that's gonna make a big impact, I think, to part of the downtown, and then the next phase of this project will be Washington Street.
So are those the style of lights then that would be repeated throughout the rest of the project, the ones on the bridge?
Yes, yes. The decorative lighting, they draw up they digitalize that, and they draw up a map, well, light here, light there. And then you just go along, you put the light boxes in. As we would tear up the sidewalks, now the brick streets will have lights too. We'll have lights on there. Matter of fact, our electric forces are going to do that. And they'll be the same decorative lighting that we've had. Unfortunately, in Potawatomi Park, if you notice that those lights down there we can't get those anymore. They bought from somebody really, I don't know where they got them, but they were all done when I was working on that. I finished up Potawatomi Park, by the way, in 2012. So we're ordering new heads for those lights down there because we can't find those lights and we can't find the poles for them. So we're going to put new heads on those, and that's in the works right now. But as you know, or you should know, the chain, trying to get something is not very good. So, we've got things out on order for very long, and anybody that's in business knows, you know, if you need something, you're gonna have a time getting it anymore. There's wait periods with all of this. All these programs, there's wait periods for materials, so, yeah.
Yeah, just in general, what do you see as far as the schedule, how long it would take for the
Well,
courthouse side, the brick streets, and then the other side, the Washington Street?
well, we're hoping that, we'll finish up this first phase next year. But the feds work real slow, you know, they're not gonna let us, we have to do several other things in order to meet the Fed recommendations in this particular project. But once that is done, we'll immediately start on the Washington Street.
Well,
I mean,
I was talking about how long it would take for them, once they start tearing up the street, how long before, what is their estimation on?
We probably won't be able to start this, Brick Street project till after the first of the year.
Are they thinking 3 months? It'll take them 3 months to complete it, 6
Well,
months to complete it?
I hate to say because
No.
we're still in the dark a little bit.
I just didn't know if they had
We got
told you
awarded
a
this
timeframe of how
July.
long they think it'll.
We're hoping that, yes, that it goes quickly, but I can't guarantee that, and they won't guarantee it to us either, so. All I know is, I wrote down, Jerry Lockridge and I had a conversation about this before I came out here. And we're thinking probably not till spring that they'll get started on the brick streets, so. And another unique thing with the brick streets is, you know, we gotta use 50% of those brick that are already in there. Those are called block brick. They're tall and they're long. But we have to use, in this project, we gotta use 50% of those, brick in this street. So, that was another thing I didn't mention, but I do know now, that we have to do that. But, I don't know, I hate to make predictions, as we started this thing in 2019, and I'm just more right.
I didn't know if they told you it'll be 3 to 6 months, 6 to 9 months.
It'll be
6
next
to
year.
12 months.
It'll be next year. Yeah, by spring of next year, probably.
Now, I'm not talking about starting it. Once they start it,
Oh, it won't be long. I mean, we get a contractor in there where, you know, it won't be long to do that. I mean, there is contractors out there specialize in this type of work, so. But, there you go again. Work, it's crazy. We've got 4 projects going on, and everything sort of after the pandemic, everything just broke loose in 2022, everything. I mean, there's work everywhere. I mean, not just in Rensselaer, all over the country, there's work. There's a lot of construction companies. I mean, you can't hardly find anybody to bid on some of these projects. Hopefully we'll get somebody. This is more of a specialized project. I think we'll be lucky to get somebody.
Can you match the brick? Can you find the bricks?
Well, yeah, you can still find, it's still made,
Okay.
but we'll have to see how many, see what they'll do, they'll go through there and pull all those brick, and then we'll do the infrastructure work, you know, building the bedding the brick in.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll take and clean all those brick, and if they're reusable, we'll reuse them.
Right.
And that's where the 50% comes in, that we have to reuse those brick. And we'll be going down to Ada's, and that whole intersection will be redone. And, you know, if you look at Washington Street and 114, if you pull up the asphalt on those, it's all brick too. Many years ago, they paved over that. It's brick. The whole downtown used to be brick, many, many years ago. But I don't think we're gonna be able to revive all that, but I mean, you got the highway department, and they're not gonna spend that kind of money when they go to paved roads. And that might be another thing, we're hoping to, when we get to that project, we're gonna put in new lighting, new traffic signals. I've been working with NDOT, that'll probably be done when we do the Washington and Collins Street. And also, we're gonna do wayward signs, you know, all these things, the amenities that come with this project. And I think it'll be a good project. I'm excited about it. We've waited a long time for this, and It's just the time that we've been through that's kind of delayed a lot of these programs. And now we're going full speed now. We got 4 major projects going on right now. And, I know I'm busy doing everything every day, something. I mean, it's not, and Jerry Lockridge, who's our project coordinator, he's been very busy. You know, we have pay request meetings with all these people at Fenneman, and we get so far, and it's been quite a year this year, since July, up until July, and everything broke loose. Any more questions? I don't know, it's time
Are there any concerns about the subsurface tunnels that have been filled in where you might have to do more excavating work?
on the streets?
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably will be. As I said, we're gonna run a water main down to where the end of Ida's is, and we have another project along with the water tower project in Maines. As we go along, we fix these streets, we're replacing lead lines. A lot of it, all the way down through there's lead lines. Service lines, mind you, not our lines. Our lines are mostly ductile iron. But we have a lot of lead service lines in the city, and this is another thing that IDEM is pressuring us to do. Pretty soon there'll be an order to do it all. We're trying to get ahead of the game. As you've noticed, maybe on McKinley Street over there, we did that area with, that is another thing we're going to apply for is Crossroads, Community Crossroads grant money. And that was how McKinley Street was done, and that's how Gray Street was done, and that was all Community Crossroads money. And that was where the governor gives so much money out, and you can put together, we put together about $1 million project each time. And we get, but you have to match that. We're a city under 10,000, so you have to match that with a 25% grant. So sometimes $250,000 is kind of hard to come up with to get that. So we haven't been applying every year. We've been applying every other year. But all those on McKinley Street, from where Gray Street, we went up to Washington Street with new pavement, and all of those, we pulled all of those lead lines that were in through there. And all of them were lead service lines to houses. That was part of the older part of the city. And where we're at with, on Van Rensselaer and Harrison Street, well, the city hall has a lead service line into it. I mean, most everybody along there has lead service lines, so we're not under an order yet to do it, but we're trying to get ahead of the game and replace all those. You know, they've done lots of studies on lead, you know, that it harms children, you know, it's been attached to the lead somewhere or another along the way. And we're working on those projects, and a lot of those will be done very shortly. And all the roads that we've done right now, we've replaced almost all those lead service lines, the new roads we have. So we're gonna do College. Our main project will be doing College Avenue with this next, if we get the Crossroads grant money. The governor has I respect the governor for doing a lot of that, making that money available to us. We never had money for local roads and streets before, not like this. I mean, it's still competitive grant-wise, but it's been real, you know, good for us to go out and we can do streets. Other communities are using this Community Crossroads grant money too, so I praise him for doing that. Some of the other things I don't quite agree with him on, but we agree on the roads, on the money for the roads. Any other questions? If not, thank you. Thank you for listening.
One last item. Cornerstone is having their coat drive again this year. You can donate coats, drop them off at Cornerstone until the end of September. Fred?
Alrighty, Anybody have sent your kid back to school or grandkid back to school recently? This past week? That's $1.
Just over there. I'll get
Terry
it.
had two grandkids, I think it should be $2.
Okay,
Get on
no,
trend,
well said,
geez.
$2.
So if we didn't send the grandkids back, but we have grandkids that are going, we don't know anything? We had to,
No, no.
we had to physically
Russell's
send,
trying to be an attorney.
No. I've consulted with counsel.
Where's Ned Donner? We need a legal interpretation here. Where's Jacob?
Sue's got $1.
Some legal interpretations.
What's that?
Got a bunch of kids going back to
Oh, okay. Alrighty, today you had mentioned a lot of improvement, Mayor Wood. Along with improvement, we have a garage door tax where people are doing home improvement as well.
Yes, I'm doing home improvement.
I feel kind of bad about this, because this is one of many dollars I'm getting from you for this project.
And you have
Yeah.
inside information.
Yeah.
No, I am doing a home improvement project, and I'm doing a little 10 by 24 new bathroom, utility room on the first floor. My wife doesn't get up and down the stairs much anymore, so I'm doing that improvement to get another bathroom. We'll have 2 bathrooms upstairs. Yeah.
And I'll be able to do an improvement when you're done with that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, a gas tax. If you live or work close enough that you can walk here, that's $1. We're not paying gas
Wow.
tax for our roads.
that was a,
Parker had to drive because he's limp. We should get
Okay,
his
Mr.
dollar.
Attorney, I said if you can, not if
Oh,
you
if
did.
you
Whoops, sorry,
can.
Russ.
no problem.
If you can.
If you can.
I paid for you, but by the time you get back to the shop, it's gonna be $2, Yoli.
Alrighty, birthdays or anniversaries less than this month. Got them already?
Yeah.
Sue, birthday or anniversary?
Birthday,
Well,
birthday.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sue.
Happy birthday.
And happy dollars. Anybody happy for anything?
I'm happy. I got 75 cents.
So, you're 3/4 happy.
Ka-ching. That's a good one, Maddox. 3/4.
Alright,
Almost
thank you.
fully happy, but just quite 3/4.
Yeah.
That it?
Yeah, that's it.
What if he's 4/4 happy?
Mayor Wood, did you get a ticket?
No, I didn't.
No? Okay. Get me a ticket then.
Alright, let's go here, let's see here. I'll go ahead and read it.
Last 3, please.
4392. 392?
392.
Come on, Brian.
We're pulling for you.
You're a gambler, man.
Alright.
And be confused when you start with 4.
Is that it?
Oh. Alright, please stand for the 4-way test. Is it the
The truth.
truth?
It's a fair to all concerned. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will be beneficial to all concerned.
It's down my wall.